Welcome back to Winnipeg Direct. I'm John Youngberg. And joining us in this segment, Andrew Kirk, President of Future Leaders of Manitoba, Justin Phillips, the Vice President of Global Wind Group. Thank you very much for being here. And Joelle Foster, Director of Manitoba, Nunavut, and Northwest Territories Canadian Youth Business Foundation. Thank you very much for being here, everybody. Manitoba is a great place to live. We all know that. And you can live here comfortably. You raise your family here, of course. However, a lot of new graduates are just getting out of town. And Andrew, I want to run this by you. As a young leader in Manitoba, what do you think is the #1 reason? We're going to go the other way. College and university students are staying.
Well, that's actually something that the Future Leaders of Manitoba, I'll call it our mandate, is basically to recognize the young people that actually have chosen to stay here. When we formed 5 years ago, basically the founder, Leslie Hamilton, said she was tired of hearing all of the negativity of all these people that were leaving, and she said, where's the recognition for the people that are staying? And Winnipeg is and Manitoba is a great, fabulous place.
Absolutely.
And it's the reason that my wife and I have chosen to stay here. There are opportunities here. There may not be the number of large companies, but there are companies to work for. There are opportunities such as Justin starting businesses up. So I think there are a number of opportunities to stay here. Well, and Justin, good reasons too.
Well, let's direct this to you. What made you decide to keep your company here and grow your company right here in Manitoba?
Well, certainly the opportunity here in terms of low cost of living, low startup costs for the business.
Now, Joelle, you work with a lot of up-and-coming young folks out there, and a lot of them are leaving to the bigger cities and whatnot. What do you feel the reason for that is?
Well, it's interesting that you say that, because since our office opened here in November, we had a 517% increase.
It's great news.
In people starting their businesses here in Manitoba. So it just shows us that people are actually interested in starting their businesses. And Justin, his company has come through CYBF, and I mean, there is a lot of innovative companies that are starting to come through.
Is the province obviously welcoming to new companies staying here, and what is the province doing?
Well, from what I understand, I mean, they are looking at putting more emphasis on the youth. I mean, as you know, today's entrepreneurs are getting older, and it is very important for young Canadians to step up and fill that entrepreneurial void once these older entrepreneurs start to retire. So it's very, very important for the government to start taking heed of this and supporting entrepreneurial activity in Manitoba.
Well, Andrew, that's positive news, obviously, to hear that, but some are still leaving. And in your mind, why do you think they are leaving, and is the province doing enough to keep them here?
When I graduated, going on 7 years ago now, from University of Manitoba, I had quite a lot of friends that, decided to leave. And some of it was because the industry that they were working in was better suited. It was better suited for them to be in Toronto. For others, there was just more opportunities because of the number of companies that existed in Calgary or Edmonton. So I think the government has programs in place for that. You can do things like tax incentives and stuff like that, but if the jobs don't exist here, then the people aren't going to stay. So
right. I mean, there's a couple of not arguments, but schools of thought here. Some people, as you all know, when you get out of school, you want that adventure. You want to go check out new places and whatnot, and then a lot of them do come back, and a lot of them do stay. Justin, in the field that you're in, which is a fairly new industry, correct?
Yes. Yeah.
How long has it been around?
We've been around 3.5 years. We started our business in 2008. And we decided that we saw an opportunity in the renewable energy field, and we decided to take a leap of faith and design our own wind turbine and bring it to market. It's quite ironic that we started this in such an energy-rich province. So we thought, you know what? We have lots of wind here. We can do lots of testing here. So let's design our product. Let's test it here, and then start selling it. It's been an interesting process over the last 3 years, starting a small business, but we've had a lot of great support, both, as I mentioned, both provincially and federally, specifically from the Canadian Youth Business Foundation, which helped us find some startup capital to get started.
So you don't feel limited in any way being in Manitoba as opposed to another province?
No, you know, we haven't had the experience, of course, of running a business outside of Manitoba, but I don't think so. I think it's a great province to be in. There's certainly the expertise here to help us grow our business, and we're centrally located, which helps us out a lot too when it comes to business travel and communicating with the variety of different customers that we have across North America.
All right. Well, Joelle, he referred to you, of course. You give a lot of loans to young entrepreneurs.
Yes.
If you had to guess, how many of them are successful in what they've done? Are there numbers for that?
Well, since we started 15 years ago, we have 4,300 entrepreneurs that have started their businesses. Mm-hmm. Those 4,300 entrepreneurs have created 17,500 jobs in Canada alone.
Wow. Contributing
$114 million of taxable revenue. So in the last 2 years, I believe the last number I saw was a 92% success rate in the last 2 years, and our loan repayment rate is 94.3%.
Great.
And we attribute that to our mentors. When a young entrepreneur comes through our program, they have to have a mentor for 2 years.
Okay, perfect.
Yes.
I was just going to ask, what are some of the incentives for a young entrepreneur to come to you?
Well, they can get up to $15,000 no collateral. They get a mentor for 2 years. We have online business resources, and we have a pre and post launch mentoring or coaching. And the other thing is we have a lot of awards programs. We recognize the entrepreneurs, and we certainly value them. And I know that since we opened the office here, we're going to have 4 events a year, bringing together the young entrepreneurs, the mentors, and trying to get them to network with each other.
Well, that's fantastic. Getting involved with the city, we all know, is extremely important. It's almost essential to get involved. Now, Andrew, I'm going to ask you this. You're the president of the organization that celebrates Future Leaders of Manitoba.
Yes.
How many future leaders of this province have responded to the initiative?
Well, the way that our organization works is we hold an event annually in the end of January, and we hand out awards to 3 individuals, or one individual in 3 different categories. There's business professional, community service, and the arts. And so we have a nomination process driven through our website where nominators fill in a form for someone who they feel basically goes above and beyond and giving back. You know, it's not just about being good at your job. As one of our mentors, Jim Carr, said, you're supposed to be good at your job, but what else are you doing? Right. So through that nomination process, they are filtered through a third-party organization and then passed along to our judging committee, which is made up of prominent Manitobans such as Sandy Riley, Jim Carr, Rosemary Vaudry, Leslie Weir, Bill Pope, and first year we had Lloyd Axworthy. And they get 3 of the finalists, and then the winners are announced each night. And you know, these people are giving back in ways that basically make me, when I look at them, I feel, oh dear, I'm really not doing anything at all. Right. I mean, these people are just spectacular individuals, and it's really what Winnipeg and Manitoba is made up of, is people like this that are willing to give themselves wholeheartedly to their home.
I think that's what sets Manitoba apart.
Oh, totally.
Is people giving back. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's just unbelievable, the people that step up and are willing to help. And I think more so than other provinces.
Our former founder, or the founder and former president, Leslie Hamilton, and I have always said that if we had tried to start this initiative in Toronto or Vancouver, we don't know if we would have gotten the backing that we got here in Winnipeg. I mean, it took one meeting in front of the Business Council to have just a huge number of companies jump right on board and say, yes, this is what we need.
Well, let me throw this out to all of you. I mean, why do you think that is? Why do you think you would have had a tougher time in say, Toronto?
Because there's so much more going on in Toronto, okay. You know, a lot more competition, but people in Manitoba are just passionate about this province, and in Winnipeg, they're passionate about the city, and they're willing to look at an organization such as ours and say, yes, we will give you the support that you need, because we need to make sure that the youth are being, you know, replenished, or that there's still going to be those spectacular individuals here in 5, 10, 15, 25 years to make sure that this province continues on.
Well, it's good to hear the province is stepping up like that. Now, any one of you 3, do you think the province can do more? And if so, what would you like to see the province do?
I think in our situation, we've had a great opportunities helping with funding to develop our product and and go through the R&D process. What we're running into right now is commercialization of our product, and it seems quite difficult to find certain individuals or funding available to help us commercialize the product and get it out to market. I think there's opportunities that could be looked at to help with possible grants or subsidies for the business owner to help commercialize the product and get it out into the marketplace and showcase a made in Manitoba product.
Walk us through how you got started with this whole project and how you developed it, and then the criteria of getting the help you got.
Well, originally, and it's a very long story, or it could be a very long story, but we'll narrow it down. My partner Alex lives in a condo downtown, and he saw all this unused rooftop real estate, what he called it, not being utilized the way it could be, and he thought, let's put wind turbines on there, let's put solar panels on there, and let's create urban wind farms. So let's use these buildings as towers and create an urban wind farm. That led us to developing our own product, and through a variety of different organizations, through an organization called IRAP and the Technology Commercialization Program through the province. We applied. We had to have a business plan put together, and we had in-depth interviews to talk about our product and showcase what we were going to do. And through this application process, we were selected to be a part of the program, where they offered different types of contribution-based funding to help us get through our R&D. So it allowed us to hire an engineer. It allowed us to purchase prototyping tools and go through that process of designing the product and testing it out and prototyping it, and then ultimately taking it to market. Or getting it ready to take to market.
Yeah. Wow, that is quite the process.
Yes, it's been an interesting 3 years, but I wouldn't pass it up for anything.
No, the learning must be incredible.
It is. It's quite the process, and it's being an entrepreneur is I think there's certain people there's a lot of risk that you take becoming an entrepreneur. So if you have to take a look at a lot of different variables in your life to determine whether you can do it or not. But if you have the risk tolerance and the excitement to go forward, then I recommend it to anybody.
Well, the risk factor it can be daunting to someone that says, gee, should I dive into the water to do this? Andrew, with all the future leaders out there watching, I'm sure there are plenty out there, what's your bit of advice? If you can give them one bit of advice.
Go that extra mile. Join an organization. It doesn't have to be anything big. It could be big, medium, small, and give back to the community that has given to you, basically. And there's always a need for people helping out there. So.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So if we have young entrepreneurs out there watching right now, their next step would maybe to find the help they need, and the criteria would be?
If you're 18 to 34, you're looking for startup financing, go to www.cybf.ca and give us a call, and we'll guide you through the business plan, the cash flow, find you a mentor, and help you get started.
So you help them actually, they don't have to come in with a finished business plan?
No, we've got amazing templates that are there to help them, cash flows. We have an entrepreneur in residence in Toronto and Calgary. We're there to help. We're just not giving the money, we're there for the entire process.
Well, I hope to see the wind turbines on rooftops all across Winnipeg. Thanks so much for being here. Thank you very much for joining us this week on Winnipeg Direct. Now, if you haven't done so, like us on Facebook and watch any episodes you may have missed or would like to simply watch again. I'm your host, John Youngberg. Tune in next week for more hot topics and intelligent conversation right here on Winnipeg Direct every Sunday on Shaw.